Nan Simonson, don't you love a farm stand? We have one near us, and every Sunday we go and we load up with whatever they have, and what is on their tables under a huge tent is what has just been picked that morning. I have some basil that they sell, but I have it growing in a pot. But these tomatoes, these little onions were everything that they had picked that morning. And so I thought, okay, what am I going to do with it? I bought some bags of tomatoes that were pre-bagged, and that means that they aren't the best. I said, are they in pretty good shape? Oh yes, there are just a couple of soft spots. So I bought 2 bags, $1 a bag, 3 pounds of tomatoes for $2, and they are gorgeous. They don't spray, even though they haven't paid to be certified organic. I've gone there for years. So I decided to make a roasted tomato soup, creamy tomato soup, vegan creamy, of course. So let me show you what I'm thinking of. I just cut up 3 tomatoes, took the stems out, and put them in my convection oven at 425. I'm going to say it was about 40 minutes. I was watching. So either use 425, 435 in a conventional oven, or your convection just gets the air circulating better. There are 9 pretty good sized cloves of garlic that got roasted. I have some nicely roasted onion in here. I used, well, you could use 1 very large onion. I used a small and then a half of another small. I have some strips of red bell pepper. They had there. Big, beautiful red bell pepper. I used that as well. So let's get this into my blender. But first, I'm going to show you what is going to cream it. I'm creaming it with, let me show you this. I always use Mori New. It's just what's available around here. I always use organic, and this is Silken tofu. Love Silken tofu. It is high in protein. It is relatively low in fat, even though soy is one of the highest fat legumes, but it's a healthy fat. It's an omega-3 rich fat, so I don't care. I don't put oil in anything. So although I could have doused this with oil, I didn't. It didn't need it. That way the calories that I'm eating are the calories directly from the food, not from processed oils, which are, as opposed to what, 100 calories, 120 calories for a pound of tomatoes. The oil is 4,000 calories a pound. So I'll stick with my whole food that is plant-based. But it's loaded with protein, it has fiber, and I'm going to show you how I open this little pack. I buy lots and lots of these. Let me show you something that I will be putting on my tomato soup. I love tomato soup with a little dollop of sour cream. This is my sour cream. You know what I make this from? I wish you could smell this. I have a recipe for it. I think it's just called, it might be called vegan sour cream or Nan sour cream or tofu sour cream. NanSimonson.com. You can get my recipes, and my YouTube channel, Nan Simonson, with a space between Nan and Simonson. You can get it, but bottom line, it's one of these packages, a half a teaspoon of salt scant, half a teaspoon of onion granules, half a teaspoon of garlic granules. Whir it up in a little blender. We use it on everything, on our tacos, on our bean soups, on our black beans, chilies, on and on. Okay, so open it by simply pulling up its little rabbit ears. I already cut off one of them on this package. There's the other one, and oh man, where did I put my scissors? Huh. I had this out so that well, I'm sorry. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oops. I'm spilling its water that it's packed in, and I'm glad I just did, because I want to tell you, don't drain it. You don't have to. And I don't drain it from my sour cream either. I cut the rabbit ears off. I slice right across the top. and then just dump it all in. So I'm gonna dump this into my blender, and this is just a Vitamix, and that's the entire box. It's a 12-ounce box, is it? Yes. And I'm going to whir this up in just a minute. Sorry for the noise. Well, that made a mess, but I just wanted to break it up a little because I'm going to be adding the tomatoes, and I don't want chunks of the tofu kind of caught in suspension. Now, let's go ahead and add, this is 3 pounds. They could have been the Roma tomatoes, but, and I didn't seed them. I cut them into quarters. 1 big red bell pepper, these 3 pounds of quartered tomatoes, took the core out so I don't have a hard stem apart in here. And because I overloaded this pan, I probably should have done it in 2 pans if I wanted a richer caramelization. However, because I didn't, I got a lot of juice. And this is parchment paper. I always use parchment paper. Ooh, did you see that? All right. And I already poured out this much of this very rich broth that accumulated while it was roasting. I'm gonna whir this up in the blender. I'm going to add, actually I'll add the herbs at the end. So let me do this, show you what it's gonna look like, take you to the next step, and then I'll finish the video when I have some soup to show you. Be right there. I'm going to add one more thing to the blender because I want it to be broken up. And this is my basil. My husband's not crazy about fresh basil, or actually basil, because he equates it to licorice, and it's true. Fresh basil can taste a little like fennel, and fennel can taste a little like basil, and both can taste a little like anise, licorice, and he's just not crazy about that. So I got these very fun scissors, herb scissors on Amazon, and it allowed me to cut these leaves, and they just kind of, I don't know if you can see, that they just kind of turned into nice little ribbons. So one more time so I can break them up and he doesn't get a mouthful. And okay, this is how quickly I'm putting together this dinner. The tomatoes had to be washed and quartered. Now I'm going to add, I didn't want it to be too finely ground, teaspoon of Italian herb mix. Remember, I whirred the tofu up in the blender. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. You don't have to add salt. I usually, in something like this, add about a half a teaspoon to 3/4 of a teaspoon. I'll add some fresh ground pepper later. And I'm gonna see how this tastes. Oh, that is so fresh tasting. Oh, that's just lovely. Okay. This is going to go into a little stock pot that I'm going to put on the stove. And, well, I'll scrape it in a minute rather than have you have to witness all of that. I could have used a much smaller pan. But I'm going to put this on the stove. This is going to be dinner tonight in about an hour. I'll put it on the stove and simmer it for about 10 minutes. And I'm going to serve it in big flat bowls. Actually, I'll show you what it's going to look like. And we have some wraps that I'm going to spread my favorite hummus on, and we'll kind of roll the wrap and eat it like that, and we'll have a little green salad for our dinner. All of what we eat is whole food, plant-based, with a determination that if we do enough of the right things, I'm about to turn 72, my husband is 71. If we do, no, he's 70. If we do enough of the right things, we will be able to, as I wrote my book about, age powerfully, and we are. We are making it through these years, watching people who took for granted good health and ate the standard American diet. We're watching them go through periods of some real physical challenges, and we're sailing through these years. I just ran a half marathon. My husband exercises every morning. We both walk a half an hour every night, and we love feeling good. And the food is one of the things that help. Have a great day, because I know I'm going to. Bye-bye. Hi, I'm back. I want to show you what I ended up doing. I have a bowl that I heat in my Breville oven because there's a warming function there, and it's nice and warm. The soup has not really boiled. It just simmered a little bit, nice and warm. I, instead of making a salad, decided to do the wraps and to do them with basically a salad inside of them. And I had some pieces of roasted tofu that I chopped up and decided to put in there. So this is a nice high protein meal. And because I can't have gluten, I buy online these gluten-free, bee-free chia and quinoa wraps. They're lovely, but they're ridiculously expensive on Amazon. They're, what, $1.25, $1.50 a wrap, because you have to buy a set of 3 and blah, blah, blah. See if you can find them at Sprouts or Whole Foods. They don't have them at Trader Joe's. They have some other wraps, but I've tried some of theirs that were gluten-free and I didn't like them. So we have the wraps. Let me pour the soup. You know, I could have done a lot of things with this soup. I thought maybe I'll add some saffron. I did add a little bit of cayenne, and I did add a little bit of smoky paprika. But the flavors of those roasted vegetables were so pure. What were they? Onion, red bell pepper, and tomato, period. 3 pounds of tomatoes, 1 big onion or 1 medium onion, didn't have to be really large, and a red bell pepper. We will eat almost all of this, not quite, but I could have, and you could, add something like tomato paste to make it richer. You could, if you wanted to, add some broth to make it looser. I didn't want to do any of that. I'm going to put a bit of basil here for garnish. I have some blazing habanero balsamic vinegar. I could use my California, this one is California balsamic. I could use my Napa Naturals Reserve balsamic that's very thick. This one, blazing habanero, I thought would be really nice with this. So I'm gonna do some drips of it, and we'll put this at the table for more if we decide we want more. But in the meantime, this is dinner. Simple, inexpensive, and so delicious. Have a great day. I'm going to. We're going to have a good meal, and I hope you are too. Again, enjoy. Remember wraps. It can give you a very good, easy meal. A wrap and soup, boom, the meal's done.